Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am still on holiday, but do not worry, my second favourite Welshman of all time is here to cover me. Tom Jones, by the way. It is, of course, the Creaky Blinder. Hello all and welcome along to another Flat Earth Friday. Creaky will be with you shortly, but first a quick thank you to the sponsors Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a VPN service that makes online privacy protection easy and attainable, encrypting all internet traffic sent to and from your devices and ensuring your IP address remains hidden to make sure no one can see what you do online. On top of that, they block ads, trackers, malware and phishing attempts, and unlike other VPN services, you can use it on as many devices as you like simultaneously. I personally spend as much time on the internet as I do sleeping, around 6 to 8 hours per day. The internet knows a hell of a lot about us, and that's why we should care about our online data. Use Surfshark to encrypt your personal information and send it via a secure VPN tunnel so no one can see it without your permission, which is great for protecting things like your ID. ID theft is an increasingly common and scary crime, and you can use Surfshark and its HackLock system to get alerts anytime your email address or password is compromised. HackLock scans various databases of leaked information and then notifies its users if their data is found so they can take action. Secure your privacy with Surfshark. Enter the coupon code SIMANDAN for 4 months extra free at surfshark.com/SIMANDAN. Right, on with today's Flat Earth Friday and the wonderful Creaky Blinder. Take it away, sir.
By popular demand, that is to say that one person asked if I would cover it, we're going to be covering Creaky.
Tidy! Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, the Creaky Blinder. And I know what you're thinking, what the hell has happened to Michael Stipe? Now unless you've been living under a rock, you'll be aware of the final experiment. Now I've got a series playlist on my own channel covering just that, which I am sure Dan will have linked below, right Dan? So for today's Flat Earth Friday, I thought it would be fun to hear from Nathan Oakley, who's made a response to one of my TFE videos that is just begging to be looked at. So let's get into it, shall we?
I have absolutely no idea what's in this video because I've not watched it.
Didn't you even read the title? It pretty much explains the whole video. The title is There Is No Flat Earth Model.
I was assured by Liam that he had, and it was worth covering, so hopefully that's given you in the audience enough time to actually toddle along to Creaky's video. And as I say, let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Has anybody else seen this video?
This is awkward.
Just a no will do, lads. I mean, you could boycott answering me altogether. That's fine too. Why am I not getting any responses? You're all chatting happily in the live, in the pre-show before the live show started. I sat, ask a few direct questions that just need a yes or no answer. Zero reply from anybody. What's going on?
Well, as funny as I found that, Nathan, there can only be one of two things. Either nobody cares about me, or your own audience doesn't care about you.
There is no flat earth model. I didn't agree to any flat earth model. I don't know how we could have a flat earth model when none of this has been fully explored to make the determination about anything in our reality, right?
I agree with you. I think that's the most honest stance to take, love. Which is to say, you haven't agreed to any model, and we phrase it, well, you're forcing this straw man model onto us. But yeah, I can completely get behind a sentiment. Anybody disagree with anything she just said?
Me? I disagree, because since I started doing this 6 years ago, pretty much every flat earther I've ever covered on the channel has referenced the AE map in one way or another. And suddenly, now the final experiment is happening, it's no longer you a model.
There is a gentleman named Will Duffy. He is a pastor from Colorado. He is a heliocentrist.
Yeah, but heliocentrism is an astronomical model in which the Earth and planets revolve around the sun at the center of the universe. And I thought you were all claiming that what the sun does in the sky has no impact on the shape of the Earth, so...
I mean, in some respects, depending on the context of the discussion, yeah, but depending on what you're doing with it. If you're laying out these maps by measuring elevation angles to the sun and plotting its positional data, then you can make reference to how you've dealt with that sun to give you that reference data on maps that are only useful for travelling on the ground. So, at best it's a correlation, but in terms of how we acquire these navigational instruments like maps is by measuring Earth flat. That's just a fact.
Giant bowl of word salad, anyone? Or are you just hoping, Nathan, that confusing people will stop them from questioning you? You're shifting between different contexts. Maps, elevation angles, and the shape of Earth without making any clear connections. You suggest that maps are useful for ground travel, but imply that they're based on flat Earth measurements, which contradicts how maps are actually created, especially when using elevation angles to the sun, and your claim that we acquire navigational instruments by measuring the Earth flat is just plain old wrong. All these tools are based on a spherical Earth, especially in global navigation. So overall, your statement lacks logical coherence and muddles the process of mapping and navigation with the flawed belief that the Earth is flat.
So, does the sun directly tell you the shape of the Earth? No. Does a measurement of the Earth as a flat plane with respect to the sun give you any idea about Earth? Well, you've just measured it flat. So I would say yes. Just depends on the context of the question.
Well, the context is that flat earthers are now saying that what the sun does in the sky in Antarctica during the southern summer has no relevance on the shape of the Earth. But it does. Because no matter how much word salad you throw at it, the fact still remains that none of you can make the 24-hour sun in Antarctica work on a flat Earth, which explains why so many of you are now suddenly saying that you don't have a model. Seems a bit convenient, doesn't it? And if the AE map isn't your model, then what is? Show us the current flat Earth model so we can understand exactly what it is you're claiming. Otherwise, you're all just saying that you don't know what shape Earth is, but you know it's not a globe.
And at some point, he came into the flat Earth, globe Earth discussion, right? Now, from what I understand,
I'm going to give props to Will Duffy. The fact that you have got this many people talking about you is absolutely outstanding.
There's definitely something off about this Nathan Oakley video. Now, we're all used to hearing him screaming and shouting, but so far, I've got to say, he's been nothing but polite. What the hell's going on?
I've got my YouTube hat on. I'm going, as in terms of how to market an idea, take a look at what Will Duffy's doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate that he's generating disdain in some people and hardened support in others. On both sides of the camp, you've got both sides of the attitude.
No, you haven't. You give me one example of a flat earth debunker saying another flat earther debunker is wrong because they disagree about what the final experiment is or isn't.
Either way, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Everybody's talking about what he's doing. You can only give him praise and props for achieving that in a very short period of time.
Right, I'm not having this. What's happened to the real Nathan Oakley? I don't know who this imposter is, but it can't be the real Nathan Oakley. I bet you he's just CGI.
and he takes frequent trips to Antarctica. I don't know if that's for his job or what it's for. I heard that through someone else, so if I'm wrong about that, you can correct me, but that's what I heard.
But you just said yourself that Will is a pastor. What possible reason would there be for a pastor to make frequent trips to Antarctica? But just in case I'm wrong, I'm going to send Will a message and double check. I'll let you know later in the video.
Hello, Will. Creaky here. I just wanted to verify something with you.
Am I missing something? What's the relevance of this precisely?
Well, she claimed that Will Duffy makes frequent trips to Antarctica, so I was just verifying with Will whether he does or doesn't do that. It's called keeping things honest.
I could, sir. I'm making a video about a lady who says that you spend all your time in Antarctica. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think you've ever been.
Did she say all your time in Antarctica, or did Creaky just misrepresent what she said? Let's just listen to what she actually said again.
And he takes frequent trips to Antarctica.
That sounded like he takes frequent trips to Antarctica. Creaky just asked about a lady who's asking about why he'd spend all his time in Antarctica. These people are just liars.
Says the man who makes his living by live streaming every day and trying to convince people that the Earth is flat.
Now, apparently he has a trip coming up, and so he had the bright idea to...
Where's his response?
Oh, don't worry, it's coming. Did you miss me saying that we'll get back to that later in the video if we being that picky about what's being said? Or are you trying to misrepresent me?
take a flat earther and a globe earther to Antarctica to see if there is a 24-hour sun down there or not.
Yeah, that's all they'll achieve. Is there or is there not a 24-hour sun in Antarctica will be the question that's answered.
It's interesting to me that you've left out the fact that if there is a hang on a second, scratch that when there is a 24-hour sun in the Antarctic sky in December, it's because the Earth is a globe. Unless, of course, you can prove otherwise. Ooh, Will's replied.
Hey, Creaky, Will here. Thanks for reaching out. No, I have never been to Antarctica. It's fascinating to me, but ever since starting the final experiment, people like to just make things up.
Now then, I'm having a lot of fun making these videos about the final experiment. One or two people are complaining in the comment section that I may be slightly overdoing it, but I don't think so. Think about it. We've all been waiting for years for flat earthers to talk about something new.
New? We covered this 10 years ago.
Oh, Nathan, you're so funny. Why didn't you do the experiment yourselves then? 10 years ago. Is it because you figured out 10 years ago that there is absolutely no way that the sun can stay in the sky for 24 hours on the flat earth model, which is now suddenly not your flat earth model?
When we assess the false dichotomy about whether or not, when assuming you're antipodal on the bottom of a ball, you'll observe a 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
Ah, right, so another flat earther who's claiming that the final experiment is a false dichotomy. Now, a false dichotomy is a logical fallacy, and I know you don't need this explained to you, but it's not you I'm explaining it to. But a false dichotomy is a logical fallacy that presents two opposing options as the only possibilities, when in reality there are other alternatives. So what are those alternatives, Nathan? You said yourself a few minutes ago that the final experiment will only answer one question. Will the sun stay in the sky for 24 hours? Either it will or it won't. If it does, the Earth is a globe. If it doesn't, then it's flat. And I hope that helped you understand what a false dichotomy is, so you don't keep using it wrong.
Then we came across a guy who'd spent 18 months in total down there, and he said there wasn't.
Whoa, hang on just a second. I can't let that one slip through the net. But I thought all flat earthers unanimously agreed that nobody is allowed to go to Antarctica. So, care to explain yourself?
So we moved on with our lives. I mean, since then, there's been plenty of people focusing on the fakery of a 24-hour sun down there. What, the fakery of it produces some sort of ambiguity? Currently, if you're in the north, you can observe a 24-hour sun. It's really easy to observe. It's easy to film.
So you can have a 24-hour sun on the flat earth model, which isn't you, as in the north. It's just the south you can't have. Is that maybe because the flat earth map is completely ridiculous? Because on the flat earth model that now strangely doesn't belong to any flat earthers, south is in every direction.
You guys are concerned whether or not there's 24 hours of sun in Antarctica. But the idiots that listen to Duffy assume that that will prove something. Well, it'll prove whether or not there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and that's about it.
Then you or one of your flat earth friends needs to make a video and show us exactly how it'll stay in the sky for 24 hours on a flat earth model, which is no longer yours. Going back to the question I asked you, just not you, this lady who definitely can't hear or see what I'm doing. But anyway, the question was, why do you think Will Duffy is taking people to Antarctica for the final experiment?
Okay. I mean, assessing it, what? Her understanding of what Will Duffy's laid out. I just did, didn't I? Will Duffy sold the idea that this will prove whether or not Earth's a ball or flat when he assumes antipodal positioning for a globe and stacks it in false dichotomy against an azimuthal equidistant globe projection.
Right, try and picture this in your mind. Imagine you're a flat earther trying to explain something, and you say something like, the azimuthal equidistant projection demonstrates the parallatic angle anomalies when considering the refraction index of the troposphere, thereby nullifying the curvature hypothesis. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? But let's break down what I just said. All I basically did was just throw random sciencey sounding words into a blender and hoped it tastes like the truth. In reality, Nathan, all you just did is use a bunch of jargon to make it sound like you've cracked the code of the universe, when really you've said nothing. Let me show you another example of what I mean.
boo-boo. Pee-pee!
That's what you sound like, Nathan, when you try to do what you just did.
So he's got a globe projection against a globe reification. That's what he's doing. Meanwhile, what's he actually assessing? He's assessing whether or not there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So it's got sod all to do with the globe projection versus the globe reification, and everything to do with whether or not there will be a 24-hour sun in a particular location.
And a 24-hour sun in a particular location, which in this instance will be Union Glacier Camp in Antarctica, can only have a 24-hour sun because the Earth is a globe. So, your move, flat earthers. And that's a wrap. Big shout out to Dan for letting me crash his channel. It's been a blast. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button, and why not take a little trip over to my channel and hit subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you over on my channel. Hopefully. I feel like I said channel too many times though. Love you, bye.